Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, yesterday, President Uhuru Kenyatta had a meeting with the elders from Mount Kenya region at State House, Nairobi. And during that meeting, for the first time, President Uhuru Kenyatta revealed that his deputy had planned to have him impeached by sabotaging his administration. And according to Uhuru, his DP had too much appetite for power to an extent that he could use every means possible to get power. This story was well captured by Citizen Digital, and I would want us to go through it. Then at the tail end, we are going to give our views. If you allow me to read. Exclusive details of President Kenyatta's meeting with the Gikuyu elders at State House, Nairobi. That's the headline. President Uhuru Kenyatta on Saturday hosted a delegation of Kikuyu elders and a section of political leaders from the Central Kenya region at State House, Nairobi. Citizen Digital has since learned that a number of resolutions were passed at the hashed meeting, key among them being the affirmation of President Kenyatta as the community leader, a mantle he was first handed on November 30th, 2012. Sources within the room said the head of state was asked to lead the community in political negotiation with a view to its inclusion in the next government as his term comes to an end. The president challenged relatively smaller political parties in the region to work with the Jubilee in the interest of the community so as to avoid splitting votes. Parties in the region allied to the ruling Jubilee Party and Azimio la Umoja were also tasked with mobilizing vote turnout for ODM chief Raila Odinga as their presidential candidate of choice. President Kenyatta said the region must produce enough legislators in both chambers of parliament as a tool of representation and collective in suffrage in safeguarding its interest, particularly on revenue sharing and law making. They goes on to say, according to the sources, President Kenyatta further reportedly explained his friction with his deputy William Ruto and what led to him now infamous March 9, 2018 handshake with his then political rival Odinga. President Kenyatta traced his fallout with DP Ruto to what he termed his number 2 raw hunger for power, impatience, and sabotage. According to the president, he reached out to Odinga to steady the government and ensure peace and stability after a bitterly contested presidential election whose outcome was nullified by the Supreme Court. He also praised Mount Kenya MPs such as Jeremiah Kioni, Ndaragwa, and Kanini Kega Kieni, as well as leaders like Agriculture CS Peter Munya and NAK Kenya boss Martha Karua, who said have stood with him and the Jubilee Party through the turbulence as others shifted their allegiance to DP Ruto. That's according to the Citizen Digital. Now we are continuing with our Punchline discussion, but I have a quick request. You might be watching this channel, but you have not yet subscribed. So my humble request, please consider subscribing so that another time, once we release a video like this one, you will always get notified. Again, to all our returning subscribers and anyone who drop comment, I must say thank you so much for your unconditional support. Again, I'm requesting you to give this video a thumbs up so that YouTube can recommend our video to more viewers. Back to our discussion. Now, the fact is that whether the president is saying the truth or lies, the only individuals who knows this is President Uhuru Kenyatta, his deputy William Ruto, and the third party who are being used to sabotage the government if really they existed. But again, this could be possible if really there was a plan to eject the president from power. Because number one, remember, the deputy president had already almost all the members of National Assembly from Mount Kenya region on his side. Then secondly, those who were elected on Jubilee Party from Western region were already siding with the William Ruto. And then, number three, those from Rift Valley region, from William Ruto's side, already they were with William Ruto. Then remember again, Jubilee got too many seats in the National Assembly. I think they elect about 14 members of parliament to have a super majority. So already the numbers were there. And if anyone had such a plan, it could have succeeded, considering that Ruto had already won the loyalty and trust of these legislators. So that is why Moses Kuria is saying that, if you check on his Facebook page, that if really there was a plan to impeach President Uhuru Kenyatta, then William Ruto should not be forgiven for not doing so. That is Moses Kuria. Maybe he's talking about this because of the kind of economy we are in now. Then again, he had numbers and he did not do that. Then number two, it would have been possible to remove President Uhuru Kenyatta from office because already Raila Amolo Odinga was contesting for this election in the public. Remember, the first election was nullified. The second one, there were some things he was demanding to be changed at IBC before they go for a re-election, but there was no change. So Jubilee decided to go all the way, the same way IBC was. So Raila engineered the demonstration and boycotting generally from all the NASA zones. So there was no business going on. And therefore, if William Ruto had such an intention, and if he was well organized, you know, if your enemy is my enemy, then we can gang together to deal with him. So that time, Raila was not happy on how the president had decided to go on the electioneering. So it could be easy for William Ruto to approach the ODM side, then they can come together and impeach President Uhuru Kenyatta, because already had numbers, na huko alikuwa anahitaji tu wabunge kidogo. And even without that, still he could have reached out to some of the ODM or NASA members of parliament, because there were other political parties coming together, ANC, Wiper, Ford Kenya, you know. So he could have reached out directly to some of these members of parliament, na walipwe, vile watu wanalipwe. Then they side with him, and in that way he could have enough numbers to remove President Uhuru Kenyatta from power through impeachment. So Uhuru Kenyatta, being a shrewd politician also, he ran quickly to reach out to Raila Amolo Odinga so that he can safeguard his seat. Because he was not sure for how long boycott and demonstration are going to go on. There was no business going on. So the only way Uhuru could have peace is to have Raila Amolo Odinga on his side. Again, even when Uhuru wanted to reach Raila Odinga, when he shared this information with his deputy, still Uhuru claimed that even Ruto said this, that he did not want Uhuru to reach out to Raila Amolo Odinga. He wanted Uhuru to play another game there rather than reaching out to Raila Odinga. So still, in one way or another, Ruto was sabotaging Uhuru Kenyatta government, because there was no way the government could manage even to collect taxes when the country was boycotting and demonstrations going on. And number three, when Uhuru talked about sabotaging, we can all point out on a number of corruption scandal that was going on in the Jubilee administration. It was scandal after scandal. Huge sums of money being given out to do specific project. For those who remember Kimwaror and Aror Dam, some mega project. But the money was ending up into people's pocket. We have money, zenye zilikuwa zinanunua towels and all other manner of things that are used in hotel, meaning we have people who are building hotels, and therefore they were channeling this money to buy those items needed in hotel. So, yes, corruption was high, but President Uhuru Kenyatta tried to fight corruption when Raila Amolo Odinga came in. That's why alitimua watu wengine kwa cabinet, and again kukakuwa na kamata Friday, so that just to reduce the level of corruption that was going on in that government. So it's justified in that way also. And lastly, in my view, someone is misleading President Uhuru Kenyatta, because if such thing happened, then the best thing that could have happened, he was supposed to reveal it at the same time it happened. That could make sense. Because right now when the president talk about this thing, we know we are almost heading to an election. We are counting months. So people will see him as a person who is just trying to defend himself. And what he's speaking about does not make much logic. And again, most of the people from Mount Kenya region have already decided where they're going to vote. So it's not going to be very easy to change their mind. But if this story could have come earlier, it could have been possible for the people of Mount Kenya to see sense in what the president is talking about. Otherwise, people are just going to feel that the president wants to maintain and retain being the kingpin of Mount Kenya region and have his voice in the Kenyan politics in as much as going to retirement. And yes, this has been affirmed for the second time after 2012, when he was made the kingpin. Again, they have reaffirmed him with the same position, meaning they might choose another leader after this election up in 2027 or 2032. So Uhuru is going to stay there. I don't know what to think about this. That's my view. So let us have a continuation of this conversation through the comment section. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening to me up to this far. May good God bless you and see you in our next video.